The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com.
Emily, you're having some difficulty with your daughter. She's got a painful disease and also a lot of anger about it.
Yes, this is about my 7-year-old daughter, Rebecca.
Okay.
She's a child that was diagnosed with Turner syndrome.
Okay.
That means that she's smaller than her same-age girls, and as an adult, she won't be able to have children, and I would like to ask how we can help her cope with that. And also, she is very angry, and I observed that she has a lot of anger and pain bottled up inside her because she had to go through all these painful examinations. And when she thinks of the visits to the doctor, she sometimes picks up books and throws them onto the floor, or she hits her younger sister.
Yeah.
So how can we help her handle the anger and aggression? And if you still have time, Turner girls also have problems with hyperactivity and ADD, as well as acquiring social skills.
Okay, so let me go to the first example, the first point that I want to make, which is that if I'm feeling really angry and somebody says to me, Ellen, you shouldn't feel angry, you just have to accept it, how do I feel now?
You feel that the other person doesn't take you seriously.
Yes, that's exactly right. So your daughter doesn't want, you don't want to dismiss your daughter's feelings. In fact, if someone listened to me, if I say I'm feeling really angry and I tell them I'm really angry, it's not fair, I'll never be able to have children, and she may not be thinking of that aspect at this time, but I'm too short, and why me? Why do I always have to go to doctors? My friends don't have to go to doctors. And if someone says to me, honey, I hear you, and I wish for your sake that weren't the case. It's so hard. I can see how frustrated you are. You'd much rather be, out playing in the playground or being able to do activities that your friends are doing rather than visiting doctors. And there may be a part of her mind that says, yeah, you're right. She feels listened to without any yes buts. And so I'm assuming you already know this because you answered that so well. Do you know that it's one of the hardest skills we as parents can learn is to really listen to the pain rather than try to counteract it directly or dismiss it or try to talk a child out of it. I can recommend a book that was the gold standard for me. It's How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. Are you familiar at all with that, Emily?
Yes.
And the very first chapter deals with how the skill of listening to your child's emotion, because that's going to make it easier for you. Then later on in that book, it deals with the next point I want to make, which is her anger. When you need to put boundaries on that anger, and if she's hitting her younger sister, that's the first thing that I heard as a visual that you want to address. You can tell her, you can feel. Her younger sister is how old?
5 years old.
5 years old. And what is her anger towards the younger sister? Jealousy that she doesn't have?
That she doesn't have to go to the doctors.
Okay, so my heart goes out to the 5-year-old. Guess why?
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. I wish I knew more about what girls want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance, a serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
Okay, so my heart goes out to the 5-year-old. Guess why? Because all the attention is focused most likely on your daughter, the 7-year-old, right? With Turner syndrome. And I've worked with many people who have been in families where a sibling has a handicap or some, tragic, something that they didn't ever invite, or the parents didn't want, and the parents' attention is focused on the sick child or the child who is has all the doctor's appointments, and the other child is suffocating. They so want to be a normal child, but they have the guilt of being healthy and vibrant. And so just a point, this is a side point, but just a point to give your younger, is it a daughter or a son?
A daughter.
For you, and are you living with your husband too?
Yes.
Okay. For you and your husband to really milk and enjoy the value of that 5-year-old and let them thrive, even though your 7-year-old might be jealous and not doing well. Let them thrive, and also for you to enjoy the thriving without punishing your 7-year-old. Your 7-year-old needs better skills, and the skills are also in that book, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen. And those authors have written multiple books, and I recommend them all. It's not focused on Turner syndrome, but it's focused on the fundamentals of dealing with children in difficult situations and helping them grow. And what it does there is it gives your daughter alternative ways to express anger. It is not okay to hit your sister. When you feel angry, say, I am feeling really angry, or draw a picture of your anger. You know, when they're younger, you can have them express it more artistically. Draw a picture, or have your dolls act out what you're feeling, your stuffed animals, preferably your stuffed animals, so you can do a little play therapy with her. So that's with the anger. With the hyperactivity, the other thing before I get to hyperactivity, with Turner's syndrome, you know, I have not had children with Turner's syndrome. You know, I've not worked with them. However, what your daughter needs is good examples of children who were smaller and thriving, who really did well in life, or were funny or coped well. She needs to see real life examples, even if it's only one example. Like when I watched the movie The Miracle Worker with Helen Keller. Have you seen that?
Yes.
She has so many handicaps, and yet by the end you're so inspired by her. You don't feel like it's the end of the world and woe is me. So you want to have your daughter see it as not as a positive that she has it, but that she can live within her capacity, and eventually she needs to deal with her anger better so she can reach what we call acceptance of living within her limits and thriving within her limits. Your 5-year-old has a broader scope of living. Your 7-year-old will be, have more difficulties. But to help her with stinking thinking, I'll always, you, why me, and all of that, to help her do the thinking, it would help to have a cognitive therapist who can give her better thinking skills. What is one of the takeaways that you're getting from what I'm saying, Emily? Is anything hitting home?
Yes, I think I must put better boundaries. I mean, I've told her not to hit her sister or other children.
Yeah, you need to guide her what to do, not what not to do. When you're feeling this anger, help me understand what's going through your mind, honey. Well, she might say nothing at first, but you wait. It might be a few days, but you encourage her to speak, to open up. And underneath anger, guess what the underbelly of anger is? It's sadness. It's loss. And when you get a person to get to what's driving the anger, I'll never be able to, or I'm too short, or I'm not like the other kids, or I have all these doctor's appointments I can't play. Then you can deal with some of those loss issues individually. You want more time to play. You want one less doctor appointment. You want to do something fun at a doctor's appointment rather than wait all the time. You can make it a little more manageable for all of you. And I think that will help reduce the hyperactivity too, because kids get really anxious and hyper when they don't have control of their own lives. So thank you so much for the call, Emily.
Thanks for your help.
You're very welcome.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt. from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Kenner and co-author Dr. Edwin Locke, who's world famous for his theories in goal setting.
When looking for your soulmate, you want a partner you are attracted to, both physically and mentally. You will spend most of your time with this person. Why would you want to be with someone whose appearance displeases you? Does this mean you can never let your hair down and have a casual day? Of course not. But if you don't value yourself enough to care how you look, you're not making yourself fully lovable, and you are announcing your lack of self-value in a revealing public manner.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at amazon.com.